welcome to Sailing With Us. I'm Angie.
And I'm Rob.
I don't know if it's Rob's military background where he needs a backup for everything, or whether it's because the boat is now 34 years old, but Rob has been collecting lots and lots of parts for the boat because some engine parts are now difficult to get hold of. This includes a replacement engine.
So I bought a second-hand Volvo Penta 2002 only to find out it's got a leaky crankshaft oil seal. So this episode is all about my attempt to replace the oil seal, the mistakes I make, and perhaps it would help you guys if you have the same problem. Hope you enjoy the video. Some say the Volvo Penta 2000 series were the best little inboard diesel engines they made. I don't know about that, but what I do know is some of the older engines are outlasting the new ones. Having opened the lid on Pandora's box, who makes the best little diesel engine, welcome to our workshop. So inside here is the engine I'll be working on. I'll do a bit of unboxing and show you. The 2000 series of engines were produced between the early 80s and the early 90s. I've no idea how many were made, but it must be in the thousands. Shall we? It'd be rude not to. So the oil leak's coming from the crankshaft seal, just behind this pulley. Looking from under the sump, spot the oil drip. Before I go too much further, I ought to point out I'm a plant fitter. Although I come from a military background, I'm certainly not a marine engineer. But I guess a diesel engine is a diesel engine, whichever way you look at it. In the days before the internet, you could always consult your trusty Haynes manual, thumb through the pages and look out for the dirty fingerprints. I've often wondered if there's still a marketplace for books like this. So, on with the job. We've got to loosen the two bolts on the alternator to slacken the fan belt off to get that out. While I'm doing this, I just want to say please don't treat my YouTube videos as a how-to video. It's really just to show what I do. They're more for my benefit so I can remember what I've done. I bought a timing gear puller set from the well-known internet trading site. Cost just over £10. I'm hoping this will do the job, but before I use it I need to make a little dolly so I don't damage that face inside there. I'm going to make the dolly out of aluminium, and it needs to be narrower than, say, what's that, probably a 30mm shaft, so 25mm, 28mm, somewhere around there. See what I can machine it down to. Before I attach the puller, I'm just going to clean out these holes, tap them through their M8. So if this doesn't take it off, we're going to have to use a bit of heat on it, but let's give it a go. Oh, look at that, beautiful. I wasn't expecting it, but it's actually on a tapered shaft with a woodruff key. I thought it'd be a square key, but it's not. Woodruff keys can be a little bit difficult to get out sometimes, but with a bit of persuasion, there we go. Try not to lose that. As a matter of interest, if you're not going to be buying a genuine Volvo part, You can find the size of the seal written on the outside. This one's 35mm inside diameter, 47 outside diameter, and it's got a depth of 7mm, but just be careful that you get the correct lip seal, and also the material it's made from is compatible. I'm hoping I can undo these row of screws to take this plate off, and I can attack the seal from the other side. I have, however, got an old ice cream carton to catch any oil that drips out. I haven't drained the oil from the engine, and I'm hoping it's going to be below the level of this retaining plate. While I'm undoing this row of screws, just try and explain my method of madness, why I'm going to have a spare engine that I can change if need be. When I served my time in the forces, it was in the height of the Cold War in the 80s, all the main armoured vehicles, fighting vehicles, had a method of being able to change their engine called a pack change. So there'd be a spare engine in a frame, pre-tested, oil cooler, everything ready to go. All you had to do was undo the drive couplings, the exhaust, and everything else was virtually plug in, and you could swap the engine over in the field using a hydraulic lift mounted on the back of another vehicle. Very efficient way of doing it, and we even used to time ourselves so you could do it as the quickest. I shan't tell you how long it took. It's probably still part of the Official Secrets Act, and I'll be taken away and shot. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the oil pump. The plate's made of exceptionally narrow or thin aluminium, so I've got a socket that fits in there exactly, and I'm going to use the hydraulic press to push it out with. There it goes. Perfect. There's the old ring. The new one, of course, has to be pushed in from the other side. Going to make sure everything's absolutely spotless, and use a little bit of Loctite retaining compound to hold it in place. So I've put the retaining compound around the outside of the seal. Next thing is to press it in. I've got an exact fit. It's all nice and square. Job's a good one. So yet another use for the ice cream tub. This time I'm going to use the lid. You can run your fingernail over the edge of the shaft just to see there's no score marks, and I'm just going to clean it up using a bit of Scotch-Brite and then some really fine emery cloth, and of course the cover will stop anything going into the oil pump, because that would be a recipe for disaster. I'm going to put a little bit of Molykote Dew Point O-ring grease on the sealing O-ring and also around the shaft, just to help the oil seal on its way. You can't get the plate upside down because the bottom two holes are closer together than the rest. But nice and gently just slide that on there. As mentioned earlier, this cover plate is made of very thin aluminium, so I'm just going to torque it down gently, about 10-12 newton meters at the most, and I'm using a star pattern, just basically opposites. Make sure I don't do any damage. Before I put the pulley back on, I'm just going to give it a quick tosh over with a fresh layer of Volvo Penta green paint. Going to leave that to dry, and I'll come back and reassemble it tomorrow. I'm using a strap wrench around the outside of the pulley to hold it still while I torque it down 40 newton meters, so it's quite tight. Remember, you want the drive belt tight enough to grip, but loose enough so it doesn't do any damage to the bearings. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you found it useful, perhaps you even learned something. If you did, please leave a comment down below. We're absolutely blown away how many people watch our little videos. It's quite amazing. Not much sailing done in this episode, but I'll leave you with some views of the River Orwell, our favourite sailing ground. Catch you next time.